from BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. This is where the quarter-final begins to take shape. It is Los Angeles FC against Cruz Azul in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. It's the first leg of this last 8 tie, and already you can feel the different pressures on the two sides before a ball is even kicked. Because this stage of this competition has a very familiar rhythm to it. One team at home looking to build something, one team away looking to leave with something, and somewhere between those two ideas, the tie starts to tilt. Welcome along. I'm Charlie McGuinness, your commentator this evening. Whether you're joining us from, we appreciate you tuning in, be it in the early hours of the morning in Europe, the evening on the west coast of the USA, or anywhere else in the world. We always do love bringing you commentary of these CONCACAF Champions Cup games, and this one is just as special as all the rest. And LAFC come into it in as strong a place as they've been in their history. They are unbeaten through 10 games for the first time as a club. 8 wins, 2 draws, and not just unbeaten, but they're pretty dominant too. 24 goals scored, just 3 conceded across all competitions, and they are the only side left from the MLS without a defeat this term. They've also done something no MLS team has managed before: 6 straight clean sheets to start the season, which tells you just how solid the base has been underneath everything else. And when you lay that onto what they've been doing at home, you start to see why tonight feels like such an opportunity for them. 5 wins from 6 here in 2026. 5 clean sheets in those 6 games, and they arrive off the back of that 6-0 win over Orlando at the weekend. It was a performance that felt like a team not just in form, but in full flow. Dennis Bouanga had the hat-trick that night. That took him to 8 goals in all competitions this year. 4 of those have come in this tournament. Heung-min Song with 4 assists in the same game. 7 across all competitions this season. 4 in this competition. And those numbers don't just stand out. They define how LAFC are creating chances right now. Even within that 6-0, Hugo Lloris still had to make 6 saves. And that was his 30th clean sheet in MLS play in just over 2 seasons. So, activity at both ends, but also control. And that word control probably sums up LAFC's journey through this competition so far. They put 7 past Real España across 2 legs in the opening round. Then came through a more awkward tie against Alajuelense in the last 16. 3-2 on aggregate, but at no point did it feel like they were chasing the tie. They've been setting the terms of games, but this is where the level should shift. Because Cruz Azul arrived with something LAFC are still trying to build in this competition. That intangible history. 7-time winners, reigning champions, and one of the central names in the story of this tournament. No club has played more matches in this competition. No club has won more games. No club has scored more goals. And when you reach the quarter-final stage, those things start to matter a little bit more. They're second in Liga MX right now. 8 wins from 13, 24 scored, 14 conceded. And even though they come here off the back of a 2-1 defeat to Pachuca, the wider picture is still very strong. And their route here reflects that. 8 goals past Vancouver across 2 legs, then through Monterrey, one of the strongest sides in Mexico, in a proper knockout tie, which ended 4-3 on aggregate. And that's often the point where you learn what a team really is in this competition, when they've had to manage both legs, manage momentum, manage pressure, and still come out on top. So 2 very different profiles arriving here at the same point at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, where the sun is just starting to set behind the palm trees that flank this new and exciting ground. LAFC, as we've mentioned, unbeaten, dominant at home, sharp in the final third. European pedigree in their ranks, in a squad littered with local talent, South American identity, and of course that pedigree that comes from playing in some of the biggest tournaments in world football. Cruz Azul, as the more experienced side in the competition, they are more accustomed to this stage, and with a broader spread of goals and creativity across the side. There's also just enough shared history between the clubs to give tonight an extra layer. They met in this stage in 2020. LAFC were 2-1 winners in that one-off match during the pandemic, and Eddie Segura, who starts again tonight, is the only player still involved from that game. That night was part of a run where LAFC became the first MLS side to beat 3 Liga MX teams in a single tournament. But since then, when they've gone deep in this competition, they've fallen short against Mexican opposition. Runners-up in 2020, runners-up again in 2023. So a club-level thread here. It's not just about winning a quarter-final first leg, but about changing that pattern. And that's what really defines this game, because LAFC know what they do tonight has to travel. It has to survive a second leg in Mexico, in Puebla next week, where the conditions, the environment and the pressure all shift. Cruz Azul know that as well. They know they don't have to win tonight, they don't have to dominate it, they just have to make sure that when this tie turns back in their direction, it's still very much alive. That's why first legs at this stage can feel slightly different. There's intent, but also restraint, there's ambition, but there's also calculation. LAFC will want to make something happen. Cruz Azul will want to make sure nothing gets out of hand. And they are backed heavily tonight by a considerable sea of blue in the stands, while their shirts this evening are the chain strip of white. The Mexican diaspora, which is well known and loved in this city, has turned out to support them against MLS's statistically best side at the moment. Teams are out there lined up either side of the officials, awaiting the start of this contest. The pre-match pleasantries are just starting to come to their conclusion as both sets of squads shake each other's hands, which is a good time for us to bring you the team news, with LAFC starting with that 4-2-3-1. Hugo Lloris in goal, with a back four in front of him of the Spaniard Sergi Palencia, Ryan Porteous, the Scot Nico Sitafari and Eddie Segura across the back. There's 5 in midfield, including Timothy Tillman and Marco Delgado, Mathieu Choinière, David Martinez and Dennis Bouanga, who sits behind the striker, we believe. And what a striker they do have on their hands here. A man who has played in the Champions League, a man who has come close to tasting Premier League glory. The former Tottenham Hotspur man, Heung-min Son, leading the line for Los Angeles. It's 3 at the back for Cruz Azul. Kevin Meyer starts in goal. He's back involved after injury and straight into a huge night. Willa Ditter, Almari Garcia and Eric Lira the back 3. Jorge Rodarte and Omar Campos as the wing backs, with Carlos Rodriguez, Jeremy Marquez in midfield, and a front 3 of Jose Paradela, Gabriel Fernandez and Agustin Palovecino. Well, we will have VAR in operation this evening. Referee tonight, Keylor Antonio Herrera Villabolas. We hope it'll be a relatively quiet evening for him, albeit with a hotly contested game on what looks an impeccable playing surface. in this ground, the LAFC home stadium. BMO Stadium playing host to intercontinental football tonight. Everything is in place in Los Angeles. Handshakes amongst the squads. An in-form LAFC looking to make the night count. Cruz Azul looking to make sure it doesn't count too much ahead of the return leg back in Mexico. The quarter-final, first leg in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. The referee gets us underway in Los Angeles. And it's Cruz Azul kicking us off, playing from right to left, all in white. LAFC in black and gold, playing from left to right. And the ball out on that left-hand side with Buanga, a man in form. The reigning champions will be a test for LAFC this evening, despite that impressive record we touched on. And it's Cruz Azul back in possession. Campos on the left-hand side. Rolls that back to Garcia. Captain this evening for Cruz Azul, Eric Lira. Here is Lira. Rodriguez, an early ball forward. Powerful header away by Tefari. There is Segura. Dita chasing after it, sliding in. On that far side goes Palavecino, who looks like he's started out on that right wing. Segura pumps it downfield. Dita with a simple touch inside his own half of the pitch. Couldn't be separated in the other quarter-final earlier today. Nashville SC, the 0-0 draw against Club America. Well, they dominated the game, if the statistics are anything to go by. 13 shots, one big chance for Nashville. That'll be a fascinating one to have a look at. There'll be more quarter-final action tomorrow. Tigres take on Seattle Sounders. Toluca against LA Galaxy. There's an early ball into the penalty area and a header flash towards goal, which is gobbled up by Hugo Lloris. Header came in from Gabriel Fernandez, the Uruguayan, who had to backpedal a little to come to meet the delivery on the edge of the penalty area. Always difficult to generate enough pace and power to sneak it past the goalkeeper, too close to the Frenchman as well in the end. LAFC battling for possession down the right-hand side, and they've given it away. There's Paladela sliding in on the far side. Segura won't quite find Buanga, and all the way through to Kevin Meir for his first touch of the ball. Considerable amount of blue in the stands this evening. It's a home game for LAFC, but you wouldn't know it based on the colour of the shirts packing out the stands tonight. Smattering of black and gold amongst the Azul. Here's Rodarte on the right-hand side, goes looking for Paradela again. Nicolas Alalcamon, the Cruz Azul manager, already watching on from the edge of his technical area, the Argentine. He's a well-known name across North and South American football. Slipping in from the right-hand side comes Rodarte. Space in the middle for Lira, who tries to spear that forward towards Fernandez. It's juggled away by Chomier. Picked up again on the left-hand side. Comes Rodriguez, and then another speculative effort from the edge of the penalty area. Paradela, he wanted a corner kick. There was a deflection on the way through. Just took a little nick off of Ryan Porteous on the way through. Well, you thought that Cruz Azul might have just come here, get numbers behind the ball and stifle LAFC, but in the evidence of the opening 5 minutes, it looks like they're up for this one. There's Lira. Side, stepping in field comes Rodriguez. Slayed off by Fernandez with his back to goal on the edge of the penalty area, and that'll be a free kick. Foul by Palencia on Campos. He was worried for a moment there. He thought the free kick was going to be taken quickly. They've been called back by the referee. Just wrapped a boot around Campos as he tried to win that back. 30-year-old Spaniard. The Palavecino clips one towards the back post, and that's an awkward ball to deal with. But he's done well. Dita, he's on his knees, he's got his arms outstretched. He felt like there was a little shove there. Strong, clean defending from Segura. In comes the corner kick from the right-hand side. And whipped away on the edge of the box by Chomier. Lira. Back by Campos. Mier looking to return it to Campos. The pass just a little bit overhit, but the idea appreciated. Thumbs up from the wing back. Soft Lira. The throw in for LAFC down the right hand side. Timothy Tillman. They want it back, but they couldn't keep it, LAFC, and they'll get forward again. Cruz Azul. Sort of untidy challenge from Delgado in midfield. That's what he's there to do. Marco Delgado, 30-year-old American. He's breaking up play in there, this time unfairly. Rodriguez. Here is left for Lira getting forward. Campos. Marquez. To Garcia. Dita. Rodarte. Back to Dita. The Colombian centre half. There's a few here playing for potential spots in the World Cup in the summer. Will come through these parts and across the United States, as well as Mexico and Canada, don't forget. There's Rodarte on the right-hand side. First time ball whipped in there. Decent header, even better save. It was Fernandez who rose and made a really good contact with the ball. Lloris gets down low to his right to push it wide. Fantastic goalkeeping from Hugo Lloris. 39 years of age. Didn't seem to be suffering the effects of his advancing years there, not at all. try and slip that in. Cruz Azul, it was Rodriguez and Hugo Lloris read that one. Let's have another look at it. Lovely ball in by Palavecino. And Fernandez just pulled off the back of Ryan Porteous, the former Hibernian man. Really good header. The first big chance of the game, and it's gone the Mexican side's way. Rodriguez. Now to Palavecino. This time tries to drive one into the 18-yard box. It's away by Porteous. Marc Dos Santos, the man in the dugout now for LAFC. A little nervy moment for his team in the opening 10 minutes. And they're struggling to get a foot on the ball. It's Cruz Azul dominating possession. Oh, down the left-hand side, Campos will track it down, and Porteous gets a toe to it. Preston centre half. Lira. He's lost out to Chaumier. Just overplayed his hand there. It's a throw-in on the near side for Cruz Azul. Here's Rodriguez. Palavecino. Campos on the left-hand side, almost level with the edge of the box. Here's Fernandez, started brightly on the edge of the penalty area here. It's laid off again to Palavecino. It's intricate stuff just outside the penalty area. That bounces off the referee. And LAFC will have the Germans not being given much time on the near side, but now they've found an escape route across the edge of their own penalty area to Segura on the left-hand side, back with Tafari. Segura trying to escape down that left flank. Last touch came off a Cruz Azul player. Well, the winner of this takes on the winner of LA Galaxy and Toluca. We could have a Los Angeles derby. Well, the two Mexican sides meeting each other. This competition always serves up some really exciting challenges for these sets of teams. State stage now. CONCACAF Champions Cup. It's a week for continental composition. With the UEFA Champions League back underway this week. Barcelona taking on Atletico Madrid, and PSG facing Liverpool later on today. Finished Real Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 2 earlier. An effort from range from Buanga, straight down the throat though, by the goalkeeper Mia. He hit it well. It's a shot on target for LAFC. First test of the goalkeeper. And Arsenal picking up a narrow lead to take back to the Emirates. After struggling for a while against Sporting Lisbon, it's been a tough week. Tough few weeks for Arsenal. Losers in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City, and then they've been dumped out of the FA Cup as well by Southampton. What a result that was for the Saints on the South Coast. Kai Havertz it was with the dramatic injury time winner. A tough task on their hands at the Emirates next week. Crossfield ball out towards the left-hand side. Cruz Azul trying to open the pitch up. Here is Fernandes again. Second ball picked up on the edge of the penalty area, getting bogged down a little bit. Palavicino now driven into the edge of the penalty area by Marquez, and LAFC have a body down. It's really powered into the Los Angeles defender on the edge of the box. Chaumier caught in the face there. The AFC midfielder put his body on the line. Well, the deflection actually came off Tafari initially, and then wasn't to know much about it. Chaumier. He will have to walk off temporarily before coming back on again shortly. Well, the scenes behind Hugo Lloris's goal is something quite impressive. They do generate quite an atmosphere here, the LAFC supporters, but so do the Cruz Azul fans down at the other end of the ground. They've got plenty to cheer about here in Southern California. The best start in club history. They haven't ever gone 10 matches unbeaten. They're looking to make it 11 tonight. I have a metric of that impressive run. 24 scored, just 3 conceded. 5 clean sheets in 6 home games. Here's Delgado trying to track Rodarte. Dita to Garcia. He's got Lira to his left. We'll feed it to the Cruz Azul captain. Being pressed now by Martinez. Front 3 for LAFC have been fringe players so far. Not sure Heung-min Son has touched the ball once in the opening 18 minutes or so. Rodriguez to Dita. Back to Rodriguez, just outside the centre circle. He's drifting from left to right and back again, looking for options here. Dita, right-hand side. Well, here's Rodarte with the early ball towards the edge of the box, and it's poked back towards goal off the left boot of Tillman. Hugo Lloris elects to take a touch rather than collect it himself. I'm sure the referee would have allowed him to do so, but they've contrived to give this away again, LAFC. It's not been the solid, imposing start that we've seen from them. Nice switch out by Lira to Rodarte. Segura is quickly to him. Rodarte to the edge of the box. Chaumier is back on the edge of the box to break things up. Tafari. Segura gives it away. Here's Rodriguez down the outside. Rodarte moving away from Tafari. Lira. Marquez. Left hand side is Campos. A loopy ball back to his captain Lira. And Garcia on the edge of the centre circle. To Marquez. Laid off to Lira. And left to Rodriguez. Drifting in field, and We'll step away from Martinez. Now here is Pallavicino. Edge of the penalty area, breaking it up nicely was Delgado. Porteous tries to curl it away down the right-hand side. Took a little flick off a LAFC player on the way out of play, and this bright start from Cruz Azul continues. And by Campos to Lira. Maldita. Garcia, product of Las Pumas. Pallavicino. That's between the lines. Looking for Rodriguez. A foul by Chaumier. Dieter forward down that right-hand side, low towards the edge of the box. Decent first touch by Paradella. And the effort from just outside the penalty area from Rodarte, Pallavicino, excuse me, over the crossbar. Still 0-0, 20 minutes gone. Cruz Azul, the dominant force so far. 5 shots now. Plenty of options as well for Pallavicino from there. Look, they're out of sorts here, LA. It was Boanga with the individual attempt. Lovely return pass from Tillman. Boanga tried to get down the byline. Just too many bodies in his way. They'll have the corner though at AFC. Boanga to deliver. Pushed away by Mir. Confident punch to get it away. Cross comes back in by Chaumier. It's a Cruz Azul head that gets it clear. Chaumier down the right-hand side again. Well, that's given away by Timmy Tillman, and now Cruz Azul might have a chance to break away here. Fernandez shook off Chaumier, and then he goes down a little belatedly. The referee will blow the whistle and give Cruz Azul the free kick. Marc Dos Santos, you can see exactly what he thinks about that decision. I'm not sure it should be a yellow card, but there's going to be a warning for Chaumier. The midway point in this first half. Cruz Azul with all the chances, and another one here with Pallavicino standing over the set piece. It's from this left-hand side, it's clipped in beyond. Boanga, oh, it's close to a Cruz Azul attacker. It's Hugo Lloris that holds on to it. Is Mia. Pallavicino at the base of midfield for Cruz Azul. Dita. Down the right for Rodarte. Lira. Dita. LAFC trying to close down, but again they can just find Rodarte on that right-hand side. Pallavicino now. Campos. Switched out to the right for Rodarte. Inside LAFC territory. Jeremy Marquez. Rodriguez. Garcia. Rodarte. Dita. Pallavicino. Back to Rodarte on the right-hand side. It's a clever back heel from Pallavicino. Couldn't return it to Rodarte. So the goal kicked the result. Nicolas Lacramont. We appreciated the invention, the idea, the improvisation. The side will be looking to try and make the most of this fast start. Chenier in the centre of the park. And down the left-hand side, the danger man, Bouanga. And Delgado. Well, he's been mobbed there. 3 Cruz Azul players converged on him and they've won it back nicely there. The Mexican side, but it's promptly given away via Pallavicino. LAFC want a handball on the edge of the box. They'll play on. Safari goes to ground. He was tussling with Pallavicino. We can't quite believe the referee's given that Cruz Azul's way. Segura. Garcia. Marquez. Dita. Review. Have a look at the replay for the LAFC shout for a handball. And you can understand why the appeals were that vociferous. They seem to lean towards it, Dita, but more like a movement towards the ball than any real contact. Might have come off the shoulder, a difficult one to judge from the angle we've seen. Not one that VAR could have got involved in anyway, because it was outside the penalty area. It's a neat turn from Rodriguez, but a sloppy pass gives it away to Porteous. Header is up in the air. Palencia linking up with Tillman into midfield for Delgado. Getting forward now is Segura. He'll find Bouanga. Heung-min Son. Segura laid back to Son, corner of the penalty area. Chenier trying to force the issue a little. Martinez. An effort from a long way out, Martinez. And that one dragged Mia's left hand upright. Just scuffed it, David Martinez. They're growing into the game, LAFC. Barely used Heung-min Son. The moment they get him involved in the build-up, they start to create a few opportunities. There are some nervous-looking defenders when he gets on the ball. Porteous makes the goal kick. Chenier stooped in there with Paradela. I think he might have been caught too, but the offside flag is what's caught the eye of the referee. That'll be a free kick for LAFC. Just a high boot from the Argentine Paradela. Almost a ball through for Heung-min Son, but bad tactic if they want to try and exploit this relatively high line that Cruz Azul have defensively. I'm not afraid of pressing the LAFC players. Palencia, and now there's a bit of space down the right hand side. Chenier low across the face of goal. Shano push to scoring. Against the run of play, LAFC have the lead. A tap in for Heung-min Son, sliding in from 6 yards. Really good work down the right-hand side. Chunier, who's been in the wars. It all opened up for him as he escaped down the right flank. And Heung-min Son, who's barely touched the ball tonight, just as we were saying, getting him involved in the game. And it'll cause problems, and there he is again with a left-footed finish, sliding in front of Dita. The moment Chunier got in behind, he had his head up, had a look once, twice, 3 times, and it's perfectly rolled across the penalty area to find the former Tottenham Hotspur man. He was never going to miss that, Heung-min Son. Four assists in the last game against Orlando. That, though, was put on a plate for him by Chunier. He's yet to score in the MLS this year. He's got goals in this competition, though, and has given LAFC a lead that looked unlikely on the balance of play in the opening half an hour. Well, how will Cruz Azul respond here? They've had the better start, as we've mentioned a couple of times already. ...173 goals in 454 appearances for Tottenham Hotspur. Came close to glory, Champions League finalist. They weren't far away from winning the title not long ago as well, Spurs. Rodarte on the right-hand side, Segura holding him at bay. Palavecino, and that's a miscue from the cross. Well, Lloris plays it quickly. It's a really good ball from Hugo Lloris. Even better touch by Boanga. Tries the return ball to Son. He might nip in here. Mir just about gets there in time. The defender, a little bit casual, Dita. Brilliant ball away by the goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. Spotted Boanga in acres of space down that left-hand side. The pass to Heung-min Son looked like it was under hit, but Dita was casual. Heung-min Son wasn't, and almost got on the end of it. Oh, a little flick by Tillman. Almost found David Martinez, and that will be a Cruz Azul free kick. Suddenly there's that confidence we've seen from LAFC over the opening weeks of the season. Their 25th goal and just their 11th game so far. It's Marquez. Palavecino. Heavy touch from Palavecino, and now Son with a nice touch near the centre circle. Lunging challenge came in from Marquez. That'll be a yellow card. And Heung-min Son not happy with the challenge. He went flying in. Well, it was off the ground, Marquez. Mari Garcia. His name goes into the book. He's going to have a tough night against Heung-min Son, who's still making his point to the 24-year-old. Segura spotted Buanga's move down the left-hand side. Couldn't find him. Dita, though. Finds Rodarte. Bounces away from Pallavicino. Mr. Fari. Son looks for Danny Buanga. To Kevin Meir. Lira. Moves it towards halfway. Porteous takes it down. There's Delgado. Now Chonier. She's much sharper now from LAFC. Palencia. Early one from a central area from Tillman, but couldn't find Heung-min Son. It's Fernandez. It's good screening from Chonier. Tillman wants the throw in. Cruz Azul will get the throw. Ones are coming together inside the technical area. And Timmy Tillman is there. It's just off camera and out of sight for us. It's an angry reaction. I think it was Rodriguez there. I wonder if VAR's going to have a look at this. It's Fernandez, in fact. I wanted to watch the pitch at the time, and I think Tillman might have just held him back. Garcia. Marquez. Lira on the left-hand side. To Garcia. Has to step away from Heung-min Son. He's done well just to evade his clutches. To midfield for Marquez. That's the advantage. Pallavicino. Back to Garcia. Forward by Dita. Can find Rodarte on the right-hand side. Lira puts his foot on the ball. Down the left-hand side for Rodriguez. 60 caps for Mexico, Rodriguez. They need to be involved in the World Cup. Here he is again, fed by Pallavicino. Dita getting forward. Rodarte on the outside. Closed down by Segura. Dita again. Inside to Rodriguez, into the penalty area. Pallavicino tries the cut back. Awkward one, bounces up in front of Tafari. The clearance is only as far as the edge of the penalty area. Buanga now on the left-hand side, takes it down under a bit of pressure, turns away from Dita, looking for support, finds Chonier. Tries to spin one down the right-hand side. David Martinez is after it. Might get part Lira. Martinez all the way through, maybe. Oh, doubles the lead. A piece of individual brilliance from the youngster. Slides it through Mir. LAFC lead by 2. And it's the number 30, Martinez, who escaped again down that right-hand side. But he had it all to do. Shrugged off the captain Lira. And after looking awkward in the opening 20 minutes, LAFC have come alive here. It started with Buanga, who danced away from Dita, and Chonier just clipped one into a bit of space down the right-hand side. Martinez had the beating of Lira, but no options in the penalty area, has to go alone. Gets in front of Lira. He's always trailing him, the Cruz Azul captain. Brilliant from David Martinez. through the legs of the goalkeeper as well. Just before the break, Cruz Azul are on the ropes. It's down the right-hand side, across comes Tafari to concede the corner kick. Palavecino in. Cleared, drops to Dieter on the edge of the box. Campos keeps it moving. We look out to the left-hand side for Marquez. Oh, it's a goal kick. Rodriguez with the header in the end. Cast your mind back to the early stages. Hugo Lloris with a wonderful save to deny Fernandez. Towering header. Just had to hang in there for a bit, LAFC. They've done more than that now. This makes it awkward for Cruz Azul going back to Puebla next week. Very long, knocked on by Segura. There's Boanga. Tillman in midfield. Tafari now. Chipped onto Son's chest. Segura. That's given away in midfield. Fernandez pulls it back towards Paladella. Tafari and Porteous combine to close him off. Here's Son. Palencia. Clever by Delgado. Lets it run through. Tillman. Boanga, edge of the penalty area, tries to feed Son. Just caught on his heels a little there, Heung-min Son. It's back to the goalkeeper, and Boanga was all over him for a moment. He gets it away, Mia. Porteous has conceded the free kick in the centre circle. And Porteous will escape the yellow card, but it was a challenge that certainly caught the eye. Rodriguez. Garcia. Dita now. Rodriguez. Well, he's been dispossessed, and here they come again, LAFC, with Boanga trying to go past his man Marquez, chops back in the penalty area, goes to ground. Might have been pulled there, we'll see what VAR makes of it. LAFC have won it back near the halfway line though. Now here's Tim Tillman. Chipped towards the edge of the box. Boanga tries to take it down in the edge of the penalty area, too many to squeeze past, and Cruz Azul clear the danger. 90 seconds of the first 45 remaining. Don't think it was a penalty on Boanga. Chunier finds Son. Segura. Chunier. Tillman, right of centre. Moves it on to one of the two goal scorers, Martinez. Tillman, Delgado, Porteous, Delgado again, Segura, Son tried to turn it down the left-hand side. Segura was crowded out, and that'll be a free kick. We just tried to break into that space that Rodarte had vacated. We'll have a little look at the shout. Maranga, no, he's just lost his footing. Tries to check back there and his feet give way from underneath him. They look a little bit panicked here, Cruz Azul. Shell shocks. Explosive last 20 minutes or so from LAFC. Here's someone with a delivery. High towards the back post, too high, and Tafari just got sucked underneath the fight to the ball. It'll stay in play though. No, it won't. 3 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. Palencia with the throw in to Porteous. Sweeps it across to Segura. Last remaining holdout from that pandemic era meeting between these two sides in the Orlando tournament. They've always played in a bubble in Florida. Son can take it down. Instead it's Fernandez that nips in. Rodarte back into midfield. There's Marquez. Lira. Campos takes it down in front of Palencia. Rattled away by Ryan Porteous. Dieter in the centre circle. Back out to the right hand side for Rodarte. That's into Paladela. Marquez. Lira. Still with the Cruz Azul captain. There's Garcia. The base of midfield for Marquez. There's Palavecino in front of him. Into the box, and Hugo Lloris quickly off his line. Frenchman comes to claim it. Into the final few seconds now. Luanga's been lively and exciting to watch. Heung-min Son hasn't seen the ball a huge amount of what he's done with it. He's done very well, and that's why LAFC head into the half-time break as the referee blows the whistle. With a 2-goal lead, David Bouanga in fine form, a hat-trick against Orlando in the 6-0 win coming into this game. He's been full of invention, but it's this right-hand side that's proved profitable for LAFC. Chonier with 2 assists, the first a cut-back tapped home by Heung-min Son after half an hour before David Martinez with a brilliant run, took on Lira, left him in his wake and then tucked it through the legs of the goalkeeper Kevin Mir. LAFC, well, it's all going to plan after a shaky start to this one. Cruz Azul need to rediscover that form that they opened the game with at half-time at BMO Stadium. It's LAFC 2. Cruz Azul 0. Welcome back. Both teams back out on the pitch at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, where LAFC enjoy a 2-0 lead over Cruz Azul in the first leg of this CONCACAF Champions Cup quarter-final. Second leg will be played in Mexico next week. And Cruz Azul came here looking to keep LAFC at bay. But this incredible start to the season from the Los Angeles side has continued tonight. It was all Cruz Azul in the opening 20 minutes or so. And a good save from Hugo Lloris to deny Fernandez early on. To set the tone and the tempo of that opening quarter of the game before Chonier spaced down the right hand side, played across the penalty area for a Heung-min Son opener. The lead then doubled 9 minutes later by the youngster David Martinez. Again, he was found by Chonier. Good work by Danny Boanga inside his own half of the pitch to unlock the opportunity. It was a half chance at best for Martinez, who sprinted past Lira, held him off and then tucked it through the legs of Kevin Mier. Back underway in LA in this second half. Cruz Azul now playing towards the bulk of their supporters off to our right hand side, LAFC towards their ultras, who are now situated behind Mier's goal. No changes to the lineups at the start of this second half. So for LAFC it's still Hugo Lloris in goal. Back four of Segura, Tafari, Porteous and Palencia. That's from left to right. Delgado and Chonier, the double screen in the midfield, with Boanga on the left, Tillman on the right, Martinez in the hole behind Heung-min Son, as Cruz Azul pump one into the penalty area, held onto by the LAFC captain Hugo Lloris, who quickly gets it out to the right hand side for Tim Tillman. Back five for Cruz Azul. Rodarte and Campos are two wing backs, Dita, Garcia and Lira the three centre halves, Palavecino, Marquez and Rodriguez across the middle, with Paladela and Fernandez, the two strikers tonight. The bulk of possession in the opening 25 minutes, Cruz Azul. They're trying to re-establish that grip on the game. They try and reduce the damage before heading back to Mexico next week. LAFC with their epic start to the year, heading for the 11th game unbeaten, a potential 9th win across all competitions in the opening weeks of the season. They've now scored 26 goals in 11 games, LAFC, and really threatening to add to their tally tonight. It's Tillman for Son. Laid off to Delgado. Now Boanga on the left hand side, heading for the byline, held off by Rodarte, and it's over the byline for a goal kick. He's got 8 goals in all competitions, Boanga, which in itself is a pretty impressive statistic. Consider that 3 of those came against Orlando at the weekend. It's all the more impressive. 4 of his goals have come in this tournament as well. Son off the mark. There's Dita, drop of the shoulder. Takes it away from Son. Sitting in second place in Liga MX, because they're all coming into the game. Side, he's Rodarte. Dita. Right for Palavecino. He's against Delgado. Playing for Cruz Azul. Marquez, Garcia, who's with the yellow card for Cruz Azul, the only man in the book so far. It's off Chonier. Corner kick, in fact, lofted in towards the back post. And Tafari met it. To release it to Humanson early. It's Palavecino back. Porteous. On the edge of the penalty area. It's out to the right for Rodarte. Inside Marquez. Dieter wants it. Bit of space on the edge of the box. Try to improvise the shot from range. There's Tafari to get his body in the way. Palavecino with the cutback. Dangerous ball inside. Chonier gets there. Son is brought down as LAFC clear the danger. Needs to be careful, Garcia. On a yellow card, Humanson just waited for the contact, felt it coming. Amari Garcia. That's exactly what LAFC wanted from tonight. Looking to gain an advantage to take to Mexico next week. And maybe they're going to add to it. Here's Heung-min Son, fed by Martinez. Still Son on the edge of the penalty area. Can he fashion the shooting chance? They've got too many bodies back, Cruz Azul. Delgado outright. Valencia. Huanga at the back post. He just got that wrong. I think he was trying to head it back across goal where he had options waiting for the knockdown. So he's missed the far post. Not by far, though. The last goal LAFC conceded was prior to that, it's been pretty perfect. Clean sheets in consecutive MLS games, 3 in a row, in fact. Statement win against Orlando in the last game heading into this one. After a 0-0 draw with Austin, a slightly disappointing result considering their all action, all dominant sort of start to the season for LAFC. Huanga tried to weave its way through, got the shot away. It's always going to be difficult to test Mia from that kind of range. It's a fairly comfortable save for Kevin Mia. Desperate to get on the score sheet. Huanga. Here is Danny Boanga again. Palavecino gets tight and forces Boanga over the touchline. Suspect there's going to be some changes, especially from a Cruz Azul perspective. I want to change this pattern. Nicolas Ibanez is on the bench. He has been struggling with injury recently. He's back in the fold after some cameos, 90 minutes against Pachuca 3 days ago. Last goals coming against Pumas and Monterrey in back-to-back matches. Ibanez would add something else to the dynamic to the way they get forward. We've got Godinho and Ochoa, the two goalkeepers on the bench. Cruz Azul, Jimenez, Diaz, Morales, Montaño, Rotondi, Velázquez, Romero, Caslo and Levy alongside Ibanez. Here's Rodarte. Palavecino squeezes into the box. Paladella. Porteous got rid of it, and Paladella with the follow-through caught the Scot. Burnley FC, Carter and Hassal, the two substitutes goalkeepers. Smolyakov's on the bench alongside Nielsen, Hollingshead, Raposo, Terry, Evans, Schaffelberg, Ebovise, Ordaz and Boyd. Lloris finds Porteous. It's for Tillman. Valencia. Chonier. Pokes back towards the edge of the LAFC box where Porteous will play square to Tafari. Well, here comes Segura down the left-hand side. It's Boanga. To the edge of the box. There's Martinez. And to Tafari. He's flirting with the edge of the centre circle at the moment, Tafari. Porteous. Tafari. Segura. Delgado. Lloris. Porteous. Valencia. Porteous. Son. To evade the referee there, but he's done really well, the Korean. And now David Martinez, left of centre. Injecting a bit of pace to the move. David Martinez all the way through again! Oh, that's fantastic! Picked the ball up on halfway, almost left it behind. Weaved his way through Cruz Azul players. A spectacular finish. A brilliant run from David Martinez. And LAFC take total control of this tie. "13 minutes into the second half, and they can start to think about the semi-finals. His first goal was pretty good. This is brilliant. He picks it up in his own half on the left-hand side of the centre circle, misses his first touch, his second takes him past Palavecino, weaves through bodies. It just opens up for him in the penalty area, and it's an inch perfect finish into the bottom corner. A 20-year-old Venezuelan with a spectacular goal. The CONCACAF reigning champions, might I remind you, are trailing by 3 goals to 0 now It's early in the season, yes, but people are already talking about this LAFC side as potentially the best the league has ever seen, and you can understand why that's the conversation. They've got it all to do now. Here's Rodarte. Safari in the way. Porteous flung himself at it. And Cruz Azul not happy with the referee's whistle. Paladela it was who's been... It's Palavecino, in fact, who's been booked here. Porteous got up well, he was off balance. He gets the free kick, he was 2 foot off the ground there, Ryan Porteous. Agustin Palavecino is the man booked. And here come the changes that we expected for Cruz Azul. Ibanez and Rotondi both coming on. They replace Gabriel Fernandez and Jeremy Marquez. Fresh legs, some fresh ideas for them. Need to test Hugo Lloris at the very least. The goal gives them something to build on. Clean sheet tonight will be yet another clean sheet for LAFC. Psychological damage to knock to the confidence, it almost certainly do. So Cruz Azul would be a problem. An hour gone at BMO Stadium. Floated towards the edge of the box. Porteous away. Effort from distance from Palavecino. Born from frustration. So Rotondi, who we expect will probably slot in on the left-hand side of the defence. Go on for Cruz Azul, as is Nicolás Ibanez, excuse me. 2 goals in the tournament so far. Against Monterrey and Vancouver back in February. He's a Liga MX title winner with Clausura. Paladela. And there is the new man, Rotondi. He's playing down that left-hand side. And some attacking thrust. Maybe try and occupy Valencia and Tillman a little bit more. Palavecino steps in onto his left, curls one into the penalty area. It's a slightly heavy touch from Ibanez. Smiles around the ground. Times it's felt like the Cruz Azul supporters have outnumbered the LAFC ones, but what we can hear in BMO Stadium, certainly not the case anymore. Taken down by Segura. Well, here is Son. Chonier. Back to Tafari. Segura. Delgado with the layoff. Chonier dispossessed. Martinez with the toe to it, was it? It was Tillman, in fact. Second sharp work by Chonier and a shove. And a kick away in frustration too. I think he's going to get away with it as well. Carlos Rodriguez. Clear foul, which probably would have earned him a yellow card for myself if I was the man with the whistle. Certainly would have been booked for kicking the ball away. Another act born out of frustration. Porteous. Segura. Delgado couldn't find Boanga. It's Campos. Just come across to the right hand side to accommodate Rotondi. It's neat play in Chonier in midfield. Tucked towards David Martinez by Delgado. And proof that he is mortal as he tried to take it on first time and ended up kicking his own leg outside of play for a goal kick. 65 minutes gone at BMO Stadium. 25 minutes left to play. Cruz Azul chasing the game. Well, it's not a position they're accustomed to being in, Cruz Azul. They lost 2 games all season, trailing Chivas at the top of the table. They lost to Pachuca on Sunday, but that was their first defeat since the 11th of January against Leon. You have to go back to their game against Juarez at the end of January. Last time they conceded 3, they went on to win that one 4-3 anyway. How can your brain shine to remember the last time that Cruz Azul was so torn apart? A 7-0 defeat to Seattle Sounders in the League's Cup back in August of last year. What was a record-breaking win for Seattle Sounders. They're so accustomed to being on the in the ascendancy, though. Cruz Azul. You understand that they might not be accustomed to coming back from this kind of position. Here's Lira. There's pocket pick by Chonier. We'll have some changes here. Some fresh legs, it looks like, for LAFC, and the end of the night for Marco Delgado. Goes about his business in a quiet fashion. In fact, my apologies, it's going to be David Martinez who has lit up the stage tonight with 2 wonderful goals, 2 sublime solo efforts. Who's going to be replaced by Jacob Schaffelberg, the Canadian international. Formerly of Nashville, made a switch in January to LA. It's just his second appearance for the club. Not a bad game to step into. So FC trying to keep Cruz Azul quiet. That's a dangerous ball across the 6-yard box, but no one there. In sky blue, Tafari flung a leg at it. It's out towards the right-hand side, though, for Cruz Azul. It's on the right-hand side for Campos. Looking to cut it onto his left, and not bad delivery. David Martinez has taking his place on the bench. He's got a towel across his face, and I think just trying to regain his composure after a brilliant night. Good defending in the end from Tafari to concede the corner kick. Son away from the near post following the second corner by Pallavicino. Header from Abadate, wide of Lloris's goal. It's given away by Segura to Lira. Tripped out to the right hand side for Pallavicino. Back into the box, and there is Tafari, who gets rid of it, puts it behind, celebrates his defensive intervention as well. To the last 20. Pallavicino. Shot by Rotondi, deflected. Here's Schaffelberg. A reminder that the away goal rule is in use in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, so a goal tonight for Cruz Azul would certainly spark this campaign back into life. Make it tricky for them back in Puebla. As it stands, any goal for LAFC would make it a really tough ask for Cruz Azul if they were to concede at home next week. But a goal tonight means that a 2-0 win would take them through on away goals. It's over the crossbar from a long way out. Rodarte almost forced into taking it on. They're trying to press high here, Cruz Azul. You imagine Marc Dos Santos will be fairly confident with his side's ability to soak up pressure. May even be more space in behind for LAFC to exploit if they do commit quite so many bodies forward consistently here, Cruz Azul. Pallavicino. Rotondi on the left-hand side, back to Pallavicino. It's Tillman who wins it back. Pallavicino not happy, and there's a bit of shoving going on here. I think Tillman was fouled. The referee blew the whistle, and I think there was a little accidental contact with the back of Tillman's head, a knee in there somewhere. You spot the angry reaction. Yes. Initial foul was from Rotondi, and Pallavicino was trying to nip in there and win it back. Hugo Lloris will take the free kick down the right-hand side. Here is Tillman. Tried to be a bit too cute with the pass there. A simple one to break up for Cruz Azul near halfway. Campos. Pallavicino. Right hand side now with Dieter. Not a bad cross, but a bit too high. Lloris will take care of it. Tosses that into midfield. There is Tillman. And they pass towards Schaffelberg, just ever so slightly overhit by Segura. Thrown back in by Dieter. There's Rodriguez. Finds Lira. Trying to step into midfield here to add to the numbers. Paradela. Rotondi. Swung into the box. Porteous away. Even at full strength tonight at LAFC, they have quite a few missing. Eustachio, De La Vela, got Jesus, and Aaron Long as well. There's Lira. Campos, dispossessed. Schaffelberg. Well, Heung-min Son not happy. Delgado decided to return it to Schaffelberg rather than Son through the middle. If he got his head up, Delgado, he was through and unmarked, and it could have got a little bit worse for Cruz Azul there. Just tossed that one forward towards Ibanez. Segura there first. Rodriguez. That's a bit too physical from Schaffelberg. Will be a Cruz Azul free kick. Palavecino towards the back post. Not a bad ball. Segura up and away the volley. A poor one in the end from Campos on the far side. Greece. On the right for Palencia. Tucked around the corner by Tillman. It's Dita for Campos. To Dita. Interesting quirk of the tournament. I'll go back to the record of the two sides of the who finish in the final to decide who hosts that final. No neutral venue in this competition. No, it's about performance throughout the tournament. You can earn the right to host the final, and at the moment it's LA Galaxy leading that rubric. Schaffelberg goes down. It's Lira with the foul. Good work by Son initially, and then bounces away to Schaffelberg. Lira had to act. Cruz Azul captain. Delgado to Son. Now Segura. Jafari. Porteous. Down the right-hand side for Bouanga. Holds off Rodarte. Chunier. Finds Segura. Son. Schaffelberg to Segura. Back to Schaffelberg. Left-footed ball towards the back post. No one was there. Going to try and find Chunier. Palencia. Misplaced his pass. That's a foul from Sergi Palencia. Once again, Palavecino getting himself in all kinds of scraps out there. A yellow card for Sergi Palencia. Paradella in the end who wasn't happy with Sergi Palencia. Heung-min Son was trying to usher his right back away there. No need to get involved. His side leading with 3-0 as we head into the final 10 minutes of this first leg. Tafari's clearance, Schaffelberg cushions it down to Segura. There's Campos. Swung into the box by Palavecino. Rotondi tries to squeeze it back to Palavecino. That's away by Tafari. Paradela. From a long way out, Lloris was concerned for a moment. I think he's got a little fingertip to it as well, because the referee's pointing towards the corner. Paradela with the effort. Looks like it's angling towards the bottom corner. Great from Lloris, not for the first time tonight. On the back across the face of goal. Can they tuck it home? They can't. Cruz Azul. But they've got another corner. Just stepping up again. Ibanez it was the second time. Taken short by Palavecino, swung in left-footed by Campos, away by Segura. Charlie Rodriguez tries to chip it back into the mixer. And ends up in Lloris's arms. I'm not sure it was going in, the effort that from Paradela, but wasn't taking any chances there, Hugo Lloris. That full stretch, and now a chance for Nicolas Lacramon to get some more reinforcements on. It is Paradela who's come closest in this second half for Cruz Azul to pulling one back. Here comes Matteo Levi. And the yellow cards. Was given to Agustin Palavecino, might have helped Nicolas Lacramon. Decide to make that change. It's Lucas Romero who's come on. Is Dita. Here is Romero, the 21-year-old. An hour against Pachuca at the weekend. From Mexico, but he's chosen to represent Argentina at youth level. We're getting bogged down on the edge of the LAFC box here for Cruz Azul. Campos, Romero, Dita. Campos can't get past Schaffelberg. Here he is again, Schaffelberg. Loops it forward down the left-hand side. Delgado can't find Son. So here comes Romero trying to wriggle his way through. Rotondi dispossessed, and now LAFC with a chance to break. Can they find Son? Yes, they can. Son towards the edge of the box, little step over, he's forced wide. It's good defending. But they'll keep the ball here, LAFC. Porteous, Tillman. Porteous, Chunier. Switch of play to Schaffelberg, left-hand side. Towards the back post, keeper was stretching. And Kevin Mia has to push it away. A really important intervention, because Danny Boanga was waiting. Brilliant ball from Jacob Schaffelberg. It looked awkward from the goalkeeper. He gets it away, and that's what's important. Romero. Still going, Romero. Low drive, held on to by Hugo Lloris. Bowls that overarm out to his left. Here's Segura. Lovely pirouette by Delgado in midfield. And he drew the foul as well, just to let off a bit more pressure. For the Cruz Azul supporters, significant portion of them are living here in LA while their side trailed by 3 goals to nil. The flares have been let off in that away end to our right. Blue clouds of smoke billowing across the BMO Stadium. They're taking the opportunity to have a fiesta tonight, even if LAFC are the side really partying on the pitch. There's Buanga tussling there with Rodarte. Pokes it out of play for an LAFC throw-in. Still time to keep themselves alive in this tie, Cruz Azul. But LAFC are going to try and eat into that time a little. And Saunier, 2 assists to his name this evening. Not that I'm sure he didn't know much about the second of them, as David Martinez, excuse me, did so well with that sprint past Lira. Saunier has been right in the thick of the action tonight. He's going to be replaced by the 17-year-old Jude Terry. Featured against Real España. He's a player from the academy. The teenager on for the last few minutes. He's an under-17 international for the United States of America. And just slots into that midfield area. Places football in the MLS Next Pro League. Recently featured against Tacoma Defiance at the start of March. On the bench against Austin FC, that 0-0 draw from LAFC is cloud of blue fog drifts across the playing surface. Amari Garcia also departing to be replaced by Carol Velasquez for Cruz Azul. Porteous battling, tussling for it. Campos. Lira. Velasquez. Schaffelberg for LAFC. Segura. Schaffelberg. Gives it away. Terry can't get on the end of it. Velasquez. Campos back to Velasquez. On the outside is Campos. Left footed ball into the penalty area. Away by Tafari. Velasquez. Inside by Campos to Lira. Rodarte. Lofted out to the right hand side again for Rodriguez. It's Velasquez on the overlap. Segura gets tight to him. Rodriguez. Dita. Velasquez, decent ball, but ahead of Tafari. Segura turns it away. Son battling for it with Dita. Puts it into a central position for Lira. That's been won back though by Tillman. Now Terry, good vision. Into the box. Whipped in there by Buanga. Couldn't find Heung-min Son. Cruz is all trying to surge forward. Still not quite out of this tie. If they can find a goal, an away goal here. Streamers being tossed into Hugo Lloris's goal. That's an effort from range, which he can hold on to from the substitute Rotondi. We're into added time now, 3 minutes of it. Boanga juggling near halfway. Rotondi picks his pocket, but play it towards the box early. Porteous was in the way. Bounces away from Tillman. Here's Romero to Rotondi. Into the box. And Dieter, that's clever. Kept his composure in the 6-yard box and just chested it. Back to his goalkeeper, Hugo Lloris. Got some obstacles to deal with. Referee, little sympathy. Still counting down, so he doesn't hold on to it for more than 5 seconds as he tries to extricate himself from some of those paper streamers. Well, a chance for a change for LAFC, as it's the end of the evening for Heung-min Son on the score sheet tonight. Started the scoring off, and it's going to be the El Salvador international Nathan Ordaz who will be on for the last 90 seconds. He's a LAFC academy product. Romero forward, Terry anywhere will do. Turned into a decent pass. Ordaz is lurking towards the halfway line. Turns down the outside with Campos. Romero, edge of the box. Rodarte tried to open it up for Rotondi, who's going to receive a yellow card. And there are a few missiles and cups and projectiles being tossed from the Cruz Azul supporters. Sergi Palencia, what scenes you want to see here. The referee's going to make a note of it, of course, and I imagine CONCACAF will take a dim view of it. He's made the most of it, yes, has Sergi Palencia. Rotondi earns the yellow card. The referee, I think, is about to blow the whistle anyway, but some tidying up to do for the ground staff here. Will be a free kick, I'm sure, to finish us off with Hugo Lloris standing over it. And the referee blows the whistle for full time as the ball sails downfield off Hugo Lloris's boot. The game drifted away from Cruz Azul. They started brightly. Hugo Lloris denying Fernandez early on, a decent header from the centre forward, kept out with the goal game scoreless. It was Heung-min Son, set up by Chunier early on, which opened the scoring for LAFC. He also went on to find David Martinez, who with a wonderful run shifted away from Lira and tucked it underneath the body of Mir. And if that was a good goal, his second in the second half was something a little bit more special. Collecting it on halfway, weaving his way through the Cruz Azul midfield to give LAFC a 3-0 lead on the hour mark. A 3-0 lead they'll take to Mexico next week, where Cruz Azul have a tough task to overturn this. They were desperately hunting that away goal that would have made it slightly easier for them. But LAFC now 11 games unbeaten at the start of this season, and they are looking every part the champions that they have aspirations of being. Full time at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, and it's finished. LAFC 3, Cruz Azul 0.